It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and this is another attempt to record The Widow's Cliff, which is a title poem from The Widow's Cliff and other poems, which can be found at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and it's on the Nook. The Widow's Cliff. I recorded this originally. Not recorded, I wrote this back on June 8th, 2009. They saw her there at a distance, a dot, a spot, resting upon a waving field, blue-gray, buoyant, face down, afloat amid the rolling waves. A brief glance first they made, followed then quickly with a surprised and dreadful stare to where the river meets the sea, where brine and fresh first gentle kiss, then struggle they in angry warlike swirls to mix a mile, give or take some feet, below the center of the town. And sure they were, without much studied thought, that the town council, 6 men, 2 women, society's voted cream of crop, would surely profoundly frown if they knew her naked body was floating slowly out to sea. It would not set so well with such an austere group to advertise the horrid fact. It would surely hurt, if not depress the fading tourist trade, set it back a year or 2 at least. So a boat was quickly pushed free, and rowed, sent to fetch her quiet back from where her body rested, so casually afloat on waters deep, cold, mysterious, and dark, blonde hair floating freely. Someone then in question said, as they drug her lifeless in the boat, where was her husband Ed? Then search for him they did all that day until the evening was drawing close by, and found him then hours later from the start, atop of Widow's Cliff. "Hello," they cried out on approach. "Hello, we've come to say hello. Sadly, Ed, we've bad news this day." But then drew they up short in horrid dismay, for there Ed sat, composed, relaxed upon the wavy grass, brown, rough, upon which no animal would graze, salted by the wind, carried in drops from the sea, better refuge for life which hid from sight. And he, gazing down at where the river meets the sea, had watched mesmerized as the body floated slowly out, but now turned away to face those who called his name, while picking slowly, methodically at his teeth, cleaning with a sharpened herringbone. But what caused them to lose their speech was what Ed sat alongside of, for he was seated quite content next to the corpse of someone who once was hailed by him as a friend, then caught him the night before with her, his wife, his love, his best friend, and they abed while lovers thought that Ed was out of town fishing, gone from the city shore. So vengeance reigned that sordid night, and Ed's wife's remains were early morning set afloat, where Ed could watch her bob and float, a bright stain of red drifting from her throat, as her body soft and youthful was, pulled by currents slowly away from the land. By the growing flow of water, constant from uphill birthing streams, awake from winter's numbing sleep, stirring, warming further inland. And he watched atop a commanding hill, kept an eye to see her float slowly out to sea. And sat he now next to his lover's cooling corpse, his chest cut open wide with a sharp fisherman's knife. And Ed, smiling his very best, offered the finders a share of his wine and a bit of his uncooked lunch, from where he sat upon a rock with blood-stained shirt, hands, and face, dining most casually, carefully, slowly, daintily on his wife's dead lover's heart. That's The Widow's Cliff. It's a title track from the book The Widow's Cliff and Other Poems, which can be found at Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and the Nook. May I suggest that you find it, buy it, write some comments, and enjoy it. Have a good day.